Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today, we're diving into some video science.
Oh boy.
But before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterror Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultra Poi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these amazing businesses and what they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. And special thanks to non-business friends of the channel, Johnny Howard, Lane Machinsky, and Becca Bekkonen. Thank you all so very much for your support for my work and my mission. Hey y'all, so this is my friend Mufasa. We've known each other for 8-9 years now?
About 8 years now.
Wow. Time flies, goodness.
It really does.
So we've done a lot of flow in that time, and more recently we've been making regular projects out of shooting videos with tracking shots. That is one or both of us walking around with a moving camera. The way that most of those get accomplished is with a little device called a gimbal. Now the cool thing is that at this point I've managed to collect several different options for gimbals, ranging from cell phone gimbals to the handheld one that I'm using right now, to a bigger one that gets used with my mirrorless Sony camera.
It's a workout.
It is a workout, unfortunately. We're always covered with sweat after doing that. So we were kind of curious, like for those of you out there that want to get those shots yourselves, what is the best option in terms of price, in terms of getting the shots that you want? And so we have decided to take it upon ourselves to do a whole bunch of flow with a whole bunch of tracking shots to help you make those choices.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So here's the options we're going to be testing out today. Number one, we're actually just going to be testing out my iPhone 11 Pro. The reason for this is that the most recent iPhones actually have stabilizers built into them. Namely, they move around their lenses as they get moved around. It's not a perfect solution, but it definitely makes the footage a lot more stable than it would be otherwise. Number two, we're also going to test out that iPhone 11 on a gimbal, and specifically a Zhiyun cradle that I acquired a number of years ago. In theory, this is going to help smooth out some of those wrinkles with the iPhone even more. And because this is such a lightweight solution, it's also a really, really portable one too. Option number three. We're going to play around with my brand new DJI Osmo Pocket 2. Now, this is definitely the lightest and smallest gimbal that I have ever used, and I'm real curious to see how it's going to handle both low light as well as some of the faster tracking shots that we've done in the past. Next up, we're going to pull an old option out of storage. That is my Glidecam. I used to use this more frequently, but it requires a lot of training to use it right. I've seen some videos online of people using it in ways that, quite frankly, were shockingly smooth to me, so I figure, hey, maybe we can get some good results out of it too. And finally, we're going to use my Moza Air 2 with my mirrorless Sony camera. This is what we usually use when we go out and film those traveling tracking shot videos. It's also incredibly heavy, and I'll be really curious to see how the lighter options stack up. All right, so here's our methodology. We have 3 specific types of shots that we usually do in the course of these videos. Those types are long tracking shots, where we're just moving in a linear fashion along a sidewalk or a street. We also do circular shots, where we are rotating around each other. Sometimes the performer's at the center, sometimes the camera's at the center. And finally, a shot that I like to call the V, which if you have seen any dance videos on Instagram, you have seen this at work. It involves pulling in and out with the camera work. Finally, we're going to go ahead and try out each of these solutions with fire. I'm really, really curious to see how all these different cameras are going to stack up. All right, so Mufasa and I are going to head outside and get started on this. Come with us. Goodness gracious, this has been an exhausting night, but I wanted to give props right quick to Ed here because he's been our safety all night and has been a lifesaver and an absolute trooper as we've been doing all these burns. Thank you so much for your help, Ed.
No problem. Glad I could help out.
Wicked. All right. See you guys back inside. Hey friends, so we are back indoors. I've edited together the clips that we recorded and we're going to go through and review them according to different shots. And we're going to see which versions of these shots that we like the most, yeah?
Probably should have made some popcorn.
I know, right? That would have been smart of us.
Yeah, next time.
Next time. Cool. All right, so this is our traveling shots.
Shot number 1.
This first one is with the iPhone. It's pretty jerky, I'm not gonna lie. Every once in a while, do you see how it kind of like stutters for a second there?
Yeah, I know. Now that you mentioned that, it's like a little quality just shifts.
Yeah. The colors are great though. The color response is fantastic.
I bet that one. Hey, who's that?
I know that guy. Yeah, I feel like I'm not seeing the jitter as much here, but
I was gonna say, like, definitely smooth frame rate with this.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that this would be Instagram worthy. Okay, cool. So this is now with the iPhone gimbal. This is super smooth.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm noticing here is like it's a little bit more of a challenge to keep the performer in the center of the
I'm seeing
of the frame. Okay, so this is the DJI Pocket 2. So the colors really pop here. Like this is a very, very saturated picture. It's also really, really smooth. And if I'm not mistaken, like I think that we're having a slightly easier time keeping me in center frame. The wide angle lens is interesting. You see how we're catching more of the background than we did with the iPhone?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like with this one, it's almost like we're just like a window and we're looking to the actual environment.
Yeah, definitely. But goodness, this is even smoother than the iPhone gimbal. Like you can't, I'm looking at the edges and I feel like you can't even see the steps as they're happening, you know, it just feels like it feels continuous. Ah, yes, and this is the Glidecam, and it is all over the place.
You can tell it needs to be adjusted a little bit. Well, was this before or after we had made the adjustments to it?
It was after.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a lot wonkier before then.
Yeah, I actually didn't even bother to include that footage because it was so
right.
janky. Yeah. Oh yeah. So this is now the Moza Air 2.
Okay.
Look at the edges. You can really, really, really see the person stepping as they are
stepping.
stepping.
It's like the up and down of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, seeing these videos with the jitter in it kind of reminds me of those early 90s music videos.
I could see that. Okay, so for the tracking shot, what's your favorite here?
Not the second camera, but the third one was a like higher quality shot.
So that's the DJI Osmo Pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had like the colors in the background pop more.
Yeah, the colors were way more saturated in that one. So I think for me, it's honestly a toss-up between the Zhiyun gimbal and the DJI gimbal.
I would have to agree with you on that one too.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's look at circular shots next, shall we?
Oh boy.
And this is just with the iPhone 11 in frame. This is so jerky. Yeah. So like as soon as you're not walking in a straight line, the jitter has become way more obvious with the iPhone. This is the iPhone with the Zhiyun gimbal.
Kind of jerky, but yeah, better.
Yeah. Again, you notice how we're having a hard time keeping the performer in the center?
So I really feel like if it was a matter of like the camera person following like a set path, it would make it a lot smoother as far as going around in the circle. So this is definitely more on the camera person than it is on the technology.
Yeah. This is now the DJI Osmo.
Okay. I feel like it's a similar level of jerkiness.
I can also see the steps that the person is making.
Yeah, okay,
now
that's what I thought.
This is nice and smooth. I like this. Yeah.
You did a good job.
Thank you. This now is the Glidecam. I'm really shocked by how well that one's holding up. And then this now is the Moza Air 2. And yeah, I can definitely see the steps happening here. It's really surprising to me, both this and the last one. The Moza Air 2 is really jerky. It's almost like doing it with just the cell phone, you know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Although, like, you note that we're both having an easier time keeping the subject in the center of the frame with the Moza Air 2.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite out of all there? Is it the Moza?
I am inclined to see the Moza because you can barely tell like the steps when they're circling the performer.
Yeah, I think honestly my winner here is the DJI Osmo again. All right, let's take a look at V's. This is just in camera with the iPhone.
Very jerky.
This is also the kind of shot that, like, when you see this in dance videos, they are using extremely expensive gimbals for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the iPhone with the gimbal. It's not tracking very quickly.
But less jerky.
Yeah, so much less jerky, but like keeping it on the subject appears to be quite difficult. Oh no, this is the Osmo. Excuse me.
Wait, what was the last one?
The last one was still the iPhone with the gimbal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's having some troubles tracking like right at the center point there too. This is the Glidecam. Glidecam actually did not do badly here.
Nope.
Surprisingly so. This might be the first time I've seen the Glidecam. You're like, okay, maybe. All right, and this is the Moza Air 2. Huh, Air 2 is actually doing really good here.
I was just about to say, Moza might beat it for me again.
Yeah, the Moza's doing a great job of keeping the performer in center, and it's smooth enough. It's smooth enough, like it's not super jerky. All right, so what's your favorite there?
Moza again for me, I would have to say.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with you here. The Moza was definitely the winner in that. Part of the challenge there, too, is that you're trying to track something really, really quickly, and the Moza's just doing a great job of adjusting on the fly. Okay, cool. So next up, we're going to check out some fire footage. It happens at night, so we're having to deal with difference in the size of sensors, where both the Osmo as well as the iPhone have smaller sensor sizes, so they're not going to be as good in the dark. Whereas the Sony, the mirrorless camera, has a much bigger sensor, and so in theory, it should handle this better. This is just the iPhone in camera. It's jerky, but I'm not going to lie, the lighting here isn't terrible.
You can clearly see me, and also see the fire clearly.
Yeah. The only thing I'm noticing is that there's a lot of noise in the picture. Like, look at, if I were to pause
this, I'm
this,
seeing what you're saying. Like little.
Yeah, do you see how, like, especially on the edges of you, it gets a little blocky in some parts? Yeah.
So I'm seeing the double fires in the background, sort of. That's.
Oh, you're right.
That's not what I was talking about.
Yeah, we're seeing lens artifacts here.
Yeah.
So this is the iPhone with the Zhiyun gimbal. It's much smoother, but we're still getting those artifacts.
But as far as movement, though, this one's less.
Yeah, this one's much smoother.
Yeah, smoother.
Okay, so this is the Osmo. This is super smooth.
I was going to say, don't see the lens ghosts.
Nope, I don't see the lens ghosts either.
So as far as video quality, I like this one better.
Yeah. We're getting more detail than we did with the iPhone, but, oh wow, that's fascinating. So you can actually see the texture of the pavement now. We couldn't see that with the iPhone before. And you can also see
in the brickwork.
The brickwork, yeah. And the lighting is still really good. Yeah, I'm actually impressed. The quality here, I think, is actually better than the iPhone. So look when the fire is really, really close to me. Do you see how blown out
Yep.
I am? That's the only thing I'm noticing. Aside from that, though, the motion's great, the detail's great, the lighting for the most part's pretty good.
Really good.
Yeah. I think that this is now the Glidecam. Which, like, you can see it tilting around very wildly as I go around. Interestingly enough, I don't see as much detail. I see some detail in the pavement, which is interesting because this should be the camera that has the best performance in terms of its sensor.
When it gets to a point where the fire's
there's ghosting.
We'll go back real quick where the fire was close to me, kind of how it was for you, because I want to see how that affects on me now.
Sure.
Because I do see what you mean about when the fire is close, the way the light affects.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of see what you're saying now. Like how it is on my clothes even. Yeah.
I think like whatever was on your shirt is going up, but in terms of your face and your arms, I still feel like I'm seeing a lot of detail there. Whereas I think if I try and see, I'm just like totally blown.
I mean, light skin, light mask versus black mask, dark skin.
I know. So, friends, evaluate this one appropriately for yourself and your friends.
Unbiased approach, if you can.
Indeed. With the Sony camera, I can control what the exposure level is. So I very deliberately put it at an exposure level where it was going to perform similarly to what the iPhone was. So that might be part of why stuff is getting blown out a little bit here. Yeah, also, the Glidecam is an absolute disaster here. So this is the Moza Air 2.
Okay, lots smoother here.
Yeah.
Every now and then I feel like I'm seeing a ghost trail, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, there was one.
Yep. Okay, so I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of ghosting there. Okay, so fire. I honestly don't think that there is one here that like looks amazing. I think that to get a really incredible shot with this, it would involve having some better LED panels. I think it would involve controlling for exposure a little bit more and like really dialing that in with a good quality camera. But based upon what we're seeing here, which one is your favorite?
I feel like the DX, which one is that again? I keep blanking. No, not the DX.
The DJI?
Thank you, the DJI.
The Osmo?
Yeah, I think that might be my favorite one. Both in terms of like quality, it was really hard to see the whole glares on the lenses.
Totally.
And we were able to see a lot of the details as far as like the ground, the background, even like on our person as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that I'm really surprised by how well the Osmo did, especially given how small the sensor is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so overall, we've now seen all these different cameras working in 4 different environments. Which one was your favorite camera overall?
I am partial to the broadsword, and you know what I'm talking about in that regard.
He likes to refer to the Moza Air 2 as the broadsword because it is hefty. I think all around, I recommend the Osmo. I'm really, really surprised at how well it held down in all of these tests. The only place where I think it fell at all short was on doing those Vs, but I would imagine that there's some ways to compensate for that. Clearly, if you want to get great fire footage, invest in a camera that has a big sensor and like go all out on that stuff. Go with good lighting and all that too. Well, cool. Mufasa, it has been such a pleasure going on this journey with you. I hope that you all out there got something useful out of this and something that will help you in your own work as content creators and flow artists. Mufasa, where can people find you online?
Well, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Wegomansa.
Outstanding. And Mufasa is going to have a copy of all the footage that we shot for this, so some of it is likely to show up on there at some point. Some of it's likely to show up on my Instagram as well. Yeah, Mufasa, thank you so much.
Thank you as well. This is fun.
Yeah, this was very fun. Hey friends, if you got anything out of this video, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, both to help other people find the video as well as to help my channel grow. This video would not be possible were it not for the wonderful support of all of these lovely people right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon, and they, along with the people listed down in the description, help to make this video and all the videos on this channel possible. Thank you all so very much for your support. If you like the videos that I produce and you're not currently a supporter and you would like to become one, you can do that by heading on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and signing up. You can do that either at the link down in the description or the card that just popped up if you're watching on YouTube. There you can get access to a whole host of awesome rewards, and even better, you'll be helping me out on my mission of trying to bring flow arts and poi spinning to the wider world and helping people connect with their brains and their bodies. Thank you in advance for doing that. If you'd like to check out more videos that Mufasa and I have collaborated on, I will go ahead and leave a link to a playlist of them down in the description as well as up on screen if you're watching on YouTube. Also, the YouTube algorithm thinks that you're going to really like this top video, so you might want to check that out as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great week, and more than likely, you'll see the two of us back again before too long with a new collaboration, so be on the lookout for that. Have a good one, get your flow on, and I'll see you soon. Peace.